Going live in 3, 2, 1. Right. Hey, everyone. Donnie here. Nice to be here at the digital marketing conference here in Europe. I guess I'm the odd one out since I don't strictly work with marketing. Well, I do, but I work with innovation more than anything else. And marketing, of course, is a big part of getting new ideas out on the market. Really happy to be here today, and I'll share a quick 45-minute talk with you. Feel free to ask questions as we go along, and we'll also have a short Q&A in the end as well. Okay, let's get going then. Here we go. All about innovation and new ideas and the challenges for entrepreneurs in these days when it comes to starting new innovations. So, hello, everyone. I always start my presentations by saying hello. I mean, one, it is a nice way of greeting people and opening a conversation. But second as well, it's for me, the word hello means a lot when it comes to innovation. Because if we ponder how long we've actually used the word hello as a greeting phrase, we realize that it hasn't been forever. Because hello, it's been in the language, but it didn't start getting used as an actual greeting phrase until they invented the telephone, because they realized they didn't have anything good to say when they picked up the phone. And that's how sort of hello came to be a greeting phrase. And then it stuck there. And I mean, if you go to Mexico or Spanish-speaking countries, and everybody from Spain, you probably say bueno when you pick up the phone, which doesn't mean hello, it means good. Because that's what you said. When the line is good, I can hear you now. But then that stuck. And and innovation is a lot about not only coming up with new ideas, but more importantly, getting rid of old ideas. And I think that the past year, we have never gotten rid of as many old ideas ever before, in my opinion. So I'll say not only hello, I will say goodbye 2020, and I will say hello 2030, because we have not only moved forward into 2021, we have accelerated development in very many parts. We've accelerated development a lot quicker into the future when it comes to digitalization, when it comes to service providing. And of course, there are lots of losers, but there are also lots of winners. So let's just say hello, future, because we are in the future, more or less. And as William Gibson said, the future is already here. It's only unevenly distributed. Anyway, about me, very, very, very short. My name is Donnie. I work as an innovation strategist and a business coach at Sweden's largest tech university, KTH, in Stockholm, Sweden. I've been here for 11 years, helping build the support unit. And today we are 17 plus people that help around 400 new ideas come out of research and student bodies to reach the market. About 12% of those reach the market as success stories after we've been working with them. Check out our website if you want to know more about what we do there. I also spent a year in Silicon Valley, in Palo Alto, helping start a big Nordic innovation hub over there. And apart from that, personally, I've been working with my own stuff. I've started businesses for the last 25 years, a number of startups in digital, gaming, food. We'll come back to that when we talk about what we're talking about. If you want, please follow me on LinkedIn. Every Wednesday, I go live at 2:30 p.m. Swedish with my innovation fika. Fika, of course, means coffee break in Swedish, where I interview a guest, tech, idea, something. So today, this afternoon, 2:30, LinkedIn. Follow me on LinkedIn. Daily posts on entrepreneurship and innovation and startups as well. Here's one interview I did with an alumni, Kalle Hasselskog of Digo, who today has 100 million users. That talk was a lot about metrics, how to grow, how to measure data-driven growth. 100 million users, I'd say they've done quite a good job. They grow with 100,000 new users per day. So I'd say check out Digo. My case here from class of 2012, I think, from the university here. Anyway, Wednesday afternoon, this is 2 weeks ago, Corin Reese, we had last week for Earth Week, we did a climate thing. Anyway, so today's subject, here we go. How to succeed as an entrepreneur. Well, everything has changed and nothing has changed, and nothing has changed and everything has changed. So, I mean, I know I've watched a lot of the talks here in the conference. Some really, really good stuff coming out of it. I'm really happy to both be a part of it and also see the other speakers. We live in a world where instead of saying, I am starting a company and I'm going to become a chief executive officer, a CEO, today, I'd say, you're looking to be a chief executive director. And I'm not talking as director as in a company sense. I'm talking as a movie director. Because today, running a startup, creating a startup is more and more and more about directing a movie where you have to see everything going on, and you have all of these actors, you have all of the scenes, you have all of the interactions, and it needs to be, cut and edited, and there has to be music to it, and so you're more of a director, movie director, than anything else today. 3 things of importance of today's world is, I've heard it mentioned before, credibility, of course, but transparency. We have never been as transparent as we are today. The world is moving at a much faster pace. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Red Queen syndrome, the Alice in Wonderland, the old, one of the best leadership books, by the way. The Red Queen, she's constantly running just to be able to stay in the same place. And today, everybody is running. Not only to stay in the same place, but we need to run even faster to be able to pass the same place. We always need to have forward momentum. If it wasn't true before, it is true now, and it has never been as true as now, that forward momentum in everything. There's a constant adaptability. There's a constant change in what you're doing. It's never static. Every day we're trying to relearn what is for today. Just because we put something up last week or last month or last year doesn't mean it works today. It's constantly momentum. And we are always in beta. Always, always. It's never finished. It's a constant strive for every day to make something a bit better, a bit more effective every single day. So, yes, of course, winners and losers, there are lots and lots and lots of people that have lost their jobs. There are lots and lots of economies that have gone down the drain, and we're still seeing it. I mean, we're not out of it yet. We're somewhere sort of in the middle of the tunnel. I don't know. There might be a light over there. I hope it's not the train rushing towards us. I hope it's the light at the end of the tunnel. We'll see. We'll see. But just to show you some winners in places where we wouldn't expect it. I mean, again, here, one of the cases I worked with, one of the alumni here, a restaurant, the Restaurant Lab. They built an innovative food space to reinvent food, and not only food, but how food is made. The Restaurant Lab, an innovation arena for delicious and sustainable food. So here comes the pandemic. No guests in the restaurant. What do? They start something completely different. They start something called call for action, where they actually cook and deliver lunches to people in healthcare, and they get people to donate money to pay for those lunches. And for the first 6 months of COVID, they'd never sold as many lunches ever before. So, it's about understanding not only what am I doing and why am I doing it, but also where can I do it? We'll come back to that as well. Here's another friend of mine, Sarah. She worked as a yoga instructor in a gym. And then came the pandemic and all the gyms closed. I gave a talk for the Nordic Sports Tech Network 6 months ago, when I went through all of the effects of the pandemic on the fitness industry, which is also a super interesting perspective. Anyway, she started by just using her iPhone. She started broadcasting her yoga classes from home. And again, she's never had as many customers and never had as many happy customers as now before, because it actually works better for her to work from her home to other people's homes. And, with the reviews she's getting on the site, exactly like she's in real life, making the class genuine. Winners and losers. It's about understanding not only what you do, but why you do it and what your purpose is. I'm coming back to that as well, but this is the core of everything. And then, of course, we have the concept of born virtual. This is something that we've been seeing in the startup world for quite some time. I don't know if hackathons and all groups. I've started a number of companies with people from all over the world that I have never ever met, ever. only online. Even that was pre-pandemic. But today, you know, with the different kinds of hackathons out there, you've probably seen the Hack for Crisis events all around Europe, all around for the pandemic. Incredible thing. Here's a picture from the Luxembourg event. You know, 500 teams starting completely virtual. They've never met each other, and they're still, some of them are still working together. So born virtual is, you know, something that we will be looking into. And as an entrepreneur, you need to embrace born virtual. Just understand that you'll probably not meet half of your employees ever. So you need to build a company that caters for that. And you need to build, and you need to adapt a leadership that caters for that, and everything else that goes in it. And now, of course, the same organization is running the Hack for Earth. If you haven't signed up for Hack for Earth yet, please do. It's going to be the biggest hackathon, and they need people like you, people that understand marketing and communication, and that, because these are tech people and they need you. So the 103 people watching, you know, sign up for Hack for Earth and help us save the planet. It's going to be the biggest hack ever. It's a 6-month thing. We're looking for, I think they're looking at, I don't know, 10,000 participants or something like that. It's going to be crazy. Anyway, faster, faster, faster. The Red Queen syndrome, right? Running faster. So the race is on. What is the race for, though? What am I racing for as an entrepreneur today? Well, the three main things entrepreneurs, well, any company is racing for today is, of course, the race for customers. Because as we add transparency, as Amazon adds another 10,000 products, and you know, which of course you can't compare because they're all different sizes. So Amazon has homework to do there. I wish somebody could start an Amazon copy that actually can compare sizes, so I can see the actual cost per kilo of what I'm trying to buy. Anyway, separate question. Race for customers. It's never been easier to compare the different offers out there. It's never been easier to find transparency. You look at testimonials, you know, the race is on for customers, and you need to be transparent, you need to be credible, you need to work with your customers. But the race is also on for talent, because I said, born virtual, as an entrepreneur building a company, I've never met my employees. I can't really bet on, you know, we have the coolest offers and we have great coffee breaks and things like that. Born virtual, I've never met you. How do we keep people on board? How do we create, you know, the stickiness and adhesive corporate culture that keeps people on board? So the race is on for talent, and talent has never had an easier way or easier day to find new ways of doing things. The rise of Fiverr on the American Stock Exchange, just look at that, how well that is going when it comes to the freelancer markets. Everybody is a freelancer. Everybody is their own company. Everybody can, you know, sell their skill at the click of a button. And of course, the race for communication. And that's where you guys come in. It's never been, I mean, I have an analogy, because I worked pre-pandemic. I worked as a professional speaker, you know, when event agencies booked you. I never booked myself. Event agencies booked me. I went to an event, I got up on a stage, I saw 200 people, and then I did my talk, and then I left. That, of course, went straight through the floor in the pandemic. So a lot of my colleagues who only worked as professional speakers, they said, well, I'll just go online, where they've never really been before, because they had speaker agencies booking events for them. So they go online, and what do they see? Oh my God, there's a whole world online. There's 10 million people here doing the same thing I've been doing, but they're doing it online. And a lot of people, some of them are called influencers, are doing it a lot better than I am, and they have 10 million followers already. Interesting. So a lot of speakers ran smack into the wall come the pandemic, because they had not built up their online presence. And when they went out to start building their online presence, they realized suddenly that, oh dear, I'm 10 years behind. So from 2020 to 2030, we need to understand, how are we going to communicate in a new world? I've heard, as I said, a lot of sessions so far. I will give most of you 2 big thumbs up, but some of you are still talking about stuff that we spoke about 10 years ago, which is 2020. Okay. And yes, of course, storytelling isn't totally out, but yes, storytelling is out. It's not about only one-way communication. It's not about, this has been like a thing, a mantra in the startup world is, storytelling. You need to tell a story. You need to get people, involved, understand it. But storytelling is out. Conversations are in. We need to, and this is the hard part, because you need to care. You need to care about who you're actually trying to serve. You need to care about what you're actually trying to do. It's not enough to have a cool story and a cool brand. You actually have to have, a two-way communication thing going on. One example from my own work life, I started a brand a number of years ago called Low High Low. Started as a healthy ice cream company here in Sweden. We were the first high-protein, low-sugar ice cream on the market here. And the couple of things that I maybe unintentionally, I don't know, that I built into the company from the start was, one, always in beta. We are never finished. The product is never finished. It's never good enough. We always need to improve, and we need to communicate to our customers that we're always trying to make it a bit better. Even, so if there's something you don't like, speak to us and we'll talk about it. And there's a constant evolution of how the product evolves. And then, of course, speaking to the customers, spending so much time getting people to try, to comment, to speak to them, to get them on as ambassadors. The way I tell you a story about how we actually got this into stores. We spent, I'd say, if I've ever done anything by the book, social media, it was this brand, because we spent 3 months before release building the hype in social media, and when we released the product, we actually had a queue of people in 3 supermarkets waiting for the product, and they actually took the products from the delivery trucks before they even had put them in the shelves. And then we pushed on social media to get people to go into shops and ask for the product. So in the end, the shops were phoning us and saying, "Send us the freaking product. We have so many customers asking for it." So that was, that worked really, really well. Anyway, don't forget, innovation is not only about thinking about new stuff, it's about doing new stuff. Just thinking about something new is an idea. Creating a new thing or a service is an invention, but doing it is innovation. And never before have we had an easier, as this Albert guy, the guy that he, Nobel Prize in 1937 for vitamin C. We've never had a bigger opportunity to look around and see a whole new world with a whole new perspective. We are in an incredible time. I know we are in terrible times, but as the saying has been said 1,000 times during the pandemic, never let a good crisis go to waste. We have never, ever been in our lifetime, in such a turbulent world where I'm not going to say anything goes, but almost anything goes. So you have to practice in seeing new things, in new eyes, new perspectives. And of course, this is an old saying which is changing a lot. It's not getting rid of the new ideas that's a problem. It's not getting new ideas that's a problem. It's getting rid of the old ones that is a problem. But we're living also in a world where old ones are being flushed out quicker than before. So the opportunities are enormous. Even though the right answer syndrome is still there. I don't know if you know what that is, but short version of the right answer syndrome is when we're 6 years old, everything is possible. Then we go to school, and then suddenly we get told that there's only one answer to the question, usually in the back of the book. And then we get taught that we have to answer what is in the back of the book to get 1 point on the test. So then we get programmed to answer the right thing, which is scary, because then we stop fixing the problem. We stop thinking about what problem am I trying to fix? And we get stuck on what do they want me to answer? And this is a risk today in today's fake news, everyone's an expert economy world online out there, because so many people are looking for answers today, and there are so many people with the right answer. So we also need to really, really, really train ourselves into critical thinking. Where does this information come from? What's the source of this information? It's, never before have we had a harder time finding the actual right answer, because people want the right answer. Anyway, so coming back to what I was talking about in the beginning, purpose versus product. The important thing, of course, is to have a strong purpose. Why am I doing this? What are we trying to achieve? And then the product can change as we go along. The problem with many big companies, well, not big, small and big companies, and companies that become static, and it's coming back to the movement part again and the whole momentum part. If you start identifying yourself with your product or with your service, if you become what you are delivering, you only become a delivery mechanism of that thing. Instead of remembering what's the purpose. If you can stick to your purpose, if you can stay true to what your purpose is, then the actual product can change over time. And with these times, when it's changing faster and faster and faster, the products and services need to change. I'm not going to say daily, but almost, so you need to have a strong purpose, stick to that, and then let the product and service change as you understand what's going on out there. So this is more important than ever. I've been saying this for 10 years, but I'd say today, the purpose versus product paradigm is more important than ever. However, don't fall into one of the most common traps that innovators fall into. Here's your customer, your user, your reader, your viewer, whatever it is, the person that you are trying to address. They have a past. They build most of their relation to new things based on a past, because they listen to songs that sound like that, and they try this on that looks like that, and they taste this that tastes like that. You understand the world by relating to your past. That creates your now. And then they have a mental ability of seeing the future, right? Their near future. That's this arrow here. That's their mental ability of embracing innovation. And then enter you, the smartest people on earth, with all of the crazy, fantastic ideas. And you go, hey, I have this great idea. Look at this. And then you stretch that future a lot further, because you can see further. You have this vision. The problem is you cannot sell that to the person who has a mental ability that stretches halfway. They don't get it. It's too complicated, there's no infrastructure, maybe there's no tech, all of the things that make people not being able to buy stuff. So the biggest trick, the hardest trick of all, as an innovator or as an entrepreneur, is also to understand, okay, oh yeah, that is of course science fiction, is to understand, where does this meet? Where is that sweet spot? Where is that magic point in time where I meet their mental ability of understanding coolness and innovation and, backing back from my vision? I mean, I've come up, I don't know how many companies I've started that are like 3 to 5 years way too early. And I've failed wonderfully in those companies. I have loads of examples that we could spend the rest of the day talking about that probably. But the interesting thing is, here's a trick. Here's a tip for you. If you ever find yourself seeing an idea that you thought about, say 2-3 years ago, come to life, somebody else has done what you thought of, and then the first thing that happens is you go, oh darn, why didn't I do that? And you get all, and then you risk, turning all bitter and angry with the world because you had the idea and it was you, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. Here's a trick. When you see the ideas you were thinking of back then succeed today, you should go, yes, my ideas work. My head works. That means what I'm thinking about today will work in 3 years. So all I need to do is adjust my timing and bide my time. That's the trick. We don't need to create more bitter inventors that feel that the world has passed them on. Again, forward momentum. If you stop, the world will pass on. But this isn't a new concept, right? Raymond Loewy, the father of industrial engineering, he coined the Maya principle, most advanced yet acceptable, meaning what is the most advanced technology we can release that will be acceptable by our users. This is an old, 60s thing. It's not a new thing, but it's, again, something we need to keep on thinking about. Design for the future, but balance it with your user's presence. And this goes back to communication as well, and for entrepreneurship as well, especially. And the old paradigm of coming up with ideas, and this is right, is we have this idea, we invent something, we build some tech, and then we go out and try and add that to somewhere to create innovation. Innovation being putting something in a context where it creates value for a user. Okay, that's innovation. So ideas become inventions, become innovations. However, the problem with this picture is that we're stuck with a light bulb. We're stuck with a technology that we're trying to sell. We are a solution looking for a problem. And this is very common when it comes to tech-driven innovations. And it's, usually, and this is where marketing comes in, because you're trying to market something that you want to sell. You're not trying to build something that somebody else wants to buy. And that's that's the newer paradigm of the whole innovation thing is need. If we took away the light bulb and I was going to say to you, let's do a workshop. Hey, we're 104 people on the call. Let's do a workshop here. How do we bring lights into this room? And we could probably come up with, 20 new solutions in 10 minutes that do not include a light bulb. We could paint the walls with fluorescent light. We could make bigger windows. We could have fiber optics with light coming into the room. We could. There are 1,000 ideas, 1,000 answers to every problem. So don't get stuck in the right answer problem. There's not only one right question. And don't get stuck with a thing that you're trying to sell, because that is, if you only have a hammer, then every problem is a nail. So again, the need to light up the room, we solve it with something that generates light. And for today, we pick a technology that we have today, which is a light bulb. In 10 years' time, it will be something different. Who knows? So again, purpose, need, product, service, not the other way around. And that goes for how you communicate stuff as well. So classic picture from the Lean Startup book, going from push, which is marketing, making people want things, to pull, where you're making things people want. So you need to have the ongoing conversation. It's not about storytelling cool enough so people will buy something. It's about conversing and talking to people so you understand what they want, and then creating that, and then recreating that, and adjusting that, and building every day on that. So then you go, well, okay, well, I'm an innovator. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to start my own business. Where do I start? Which idea should I pick? Well, I make it important. Well, not only make it important because make it worth it, but make it important enough, because in today's, the speaker agency analogy, and everything is online. I mean, did you see the news today? Alphabet's stock price went up because they surpassed everybody's expectations when it came to online sales. I mean, it was like up, I don't know how many percent, and Alphabet stock went, through the roof. Vitamins versus morphine. How important is your idea to your customer? How important is it for them? Actually, is it important enough to click, I want to hear more about this? Is it important enough to say, I'll try this, I'll buy this once? Is it important for them to, buy it once? I mean, marketing will sell anything once, right? Then it's up to the product or service to resell it. Is it important enough for them to pay the most expensive price ever, which is changing a habit? How important is your product, your service for your user? If it's not important enough, they might try it, they might listen to your market survey, but they won't buy it, and they will definitely not stick to it. Have to make it important. And just in today's world, where can you find good needs? Where can you find good problems? Well, I'll say start at least by going to the UN sustainability goals, 17 goals, broken down into 169 sub-goals. We have enough needs out there. We don't need to invent, new ones. So if you're going to spend time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears in trying to create something for yourself, why not start trying to do something that's actually good for not only yourself, but for the planet as well? So, I'll please have a look at the UN sustainability goals. We all need to help out, because COVID has backed us 2 years. The latest UN report has, COVID put us back 2 years in our attempts for Agenda 2030. So here's a good place to start. And then, of course, thinking about, okay, well, what else how else can I sort of think about new ideas? And in today's fast-paced world where everything's moving so fast, and what's he talking about? Always in beta. Well, very simple model of innovation sweet spot. One, external factors. What's going on in the world? Trends. Read the paper. Watch news. Try and be critical against everything you hear and you read, but more information. What's going on? Understand the trends. And also think about, okay, so now we've had this year of this. What happens when we're going? I mean, I say that the big change in companies didn't happen when they were forced to let people work from home. The big change in companies is going to happen when people can go back to work, but won't. And they'll say, I quite like it working from home. I mean, I enjoy getting up and walking around in slippers and nice comfies, and I don't have to put on a suit and sit in car queues for an hour per day. That's going to be a big thing when we're trying to get back, because there's no going back. Back is back then. It's only forward. That's one big key trend. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to all the inner city gyms when nobody wants to go to the inner city anymore? Are we going to see lots of satellite gyms? I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But think about it. What's going on? What do I think is going to happen in the business vertical I am in, or want to be in, or where I want to affect stuff? Second part of the external factors, what do I think people are going to want to buy? Not what I want to buy today, but what do I think they're going to want to buy in those 3 years? Remember, those 3 years, your idea in 3 years' time? And the best trick, of course, I mean, I know I'm speaking to communicators here, so I'll make a joke and I'll say, of course, speak to your customers, but whatever you do, never listen to what they say. Never listen to what people say. Instead, I mean, market research is an art form. You don't want to hear what they say. You want to understand what they mean. So you don't want to ask them, would you buy this app? And they'll go, yeah, whatever. Get rid of that salesperson. You need to talk to them about pains and gains and needs and future and life and conversations again. Understand, what do you think what do you think that they are going to want to buy in a future of 3 to 5 years? Because it's going to take you 3 years to get something out there. Don't forget that. What can you do? What are your skill sets? What could you add? What could you hire? What can you acquire? Where could you join forces? What can we do? What could we do? What am I good at? How can I put what I'm good at to any use somewhere? How can I help the world in one of the 169 sub-goals? And of course, the most important one of all, what do we want to do? This is usually considered to be, what's my why? You've heard all of these talks about, start with the why. Well, that goes there. What do you want to do? What do you want to be known for in, like, when you sit there with your grandkids in I don't know how many years? What do you want to be proud of? I mean, what do you actually want to be proud of having done? Or tell you what, the only thing I want to be proud of when I sit there, whenever it's going to happen, not if, but when, the only thing I want to be proud of is, well, you know what? At least I tried. And I didn't stop trying until I had to. And I'm going to keep trying until I can't do it anymore. I'm proud of that. And I want to be proud of that. So what do you want to be proud of? What do you want people to really, go, good try, job well done? So in a sense, we're living in this huge idol production, right? We were talking about movie directions before, but I will say that it's the beauty of getting up on a stage, singing your heart out, and then the jury, i.e. customers or users, will give you feedback. Sometimes they give you feedback which is so bad that you get kicked out of the show because you did a terrible job. But most often you do a good enough job, but you get feedback. The ones that don't succeed are the ones that go, oh, well, I'm not going to listen to that. I don't trust them, blah, 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 blah. And then they don't do anything about them. The ones that succeed, they listen to what they hear, and then they spend the coming week practicing with a voice coach, with trying new songs, and they practice and practice and practice. And then they get up on stage the next week, and they sing out their heart out again. And that time, next time they get applause, and people love it. It's all about trying, listening, trying again, listening and trying again. And we only have so much share out there. Today online, the share has diminished a lot. So don't forget, in the context, ideas live, thrive, and die in context, right? So you have share of mind, share of time, share of wallet. People only have so much space. They only have so much time. They only have so much money. And when you're trying to offer something new, you're pushing something else out of the way. You have to understand, what am I trying to get them to stop using instead of using mine? I can't invent more time. I can't invent more money. And I don't have more space in my poor head. So what are you trying to substitute? What are you trying to move out of the way? What am I up against? Like, and then when we talk about competition, people always do there's no competitors. Well, I found one that do the same thing we do. And that I won't say bullshit because I can't swear. So I won't say that, but that's crap. I can say crap. Because if there's not competition, there's always alternatives. So the thing is, I say, okay, Coca-Cola, fine. If I said, name one competitor to Coca-Cola, you'd say, Pepsi. Everybody says Pepsi. But then I say, okay, we'll name alternative to Coca-Cola. And then the list goes, boom, Pepsi, another cola, another soft drink, a function drink. Now something else to drink, a beer. Maybe it was the caffeine, so we can drink coffee. Maybe we're only thirsty, so we drink water. What was the actual need we were trying to cater to? In which social context? When is it happening? When, where, what, and how, and why? So many questions go into what exactly we need to create and communicate for that instance to work. But don't forget, the most common substitute, the most common alternative of them all is, of course, when people are offered an alternative, nothing at all. Just because there's a choice doesn't mean that they'll choose. So make it important enough to at least have them click, I want to know more about this. And I know I'm saying the same thing over and over again. It's not about being right. For one thing, nobody likes a smartass, but it's not about being right. It's about trying to get it right constantly. Every day waking up, trying to get it a bit more right. Be humble. Ask for help. Listen. Have a conversation. Don't try and push things down people's throats. It's never going to work. Ending off, one of my favorite innovation idols, Laila Olgren, Swedish innovator, the person who in the 70s was tasked to try and rethink how telephones worked. She would have loved living today because she was the kind of person who not only could think outside of the box, she lived outside of the box. She got the Pullen Prize, which is the Nobel Prize in Sweden for engineers. She was the one who invented the new mobile paradigm that we all use today, where we enter a number and then we press dial and that gets sent. Because pre-Laila, we lifted the phone receiver, had a dial tone, and then we dialed the number. But driving in a car, of course, that wouldn't work. If you're driving at 50 miles per hour in a car, you could not dial because the cell reception got lost. So Laila was the one that cracked that. And I met her and we talked about how she came up with the idea, thinking completely opposite. And I think, thinking back to when I met Laila, I think she would have enjoyed living in today's world with all of the challenges that we have today, where we can rethink everything. So, ending words. Heading home in the Stockholm archipelago. Don't forget, be curious. Look at new ideas and, embrace your inner 6-year-old and stop being blasé and think you're cool or try to know everything, because you don't know everything and you're not cool. Just go, oh my God, that's awesome, and embrace new ideas and new thinking, because we have never, ever, ever needed new thinking as much as we need today. And if nothing else, the world is changing at a faster pace than ever before. Don't forget, we are always in beta. It's never finished. It's a constant strive every day to get it a bit more right. And if you're going to do anything in your life, try and make it right, not only for yourself, but for the planet as well. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have your LinkedIn app on your phone, you can just open the network tab and then just do the QR code thing with your LinkedIn app. If nothing else, find me on LinkedIn, connect there, ask me questions, watch my innovation ficas. And with that, I will say thank you, and let's go to a short Q&A, if there's any Q&A. Wonderful. Thank you. If there aren't any questions, as I say, Donnie Lygonis, LinkedIn, connect, follow, ask me questions there. Everything is cool. I'm super accessible, and we need to help. We need to help out. Everybody needs to help. There's a poll. Okay then. Well, thanks everyone for today. I will now leave the room, and if there's no more questions, I'll just check once more. Thank you very much. Thank you. No problem. My pleasure. I had fun. I hope you had fun. I had fun. I'll see you all again. Take care for now, and goodbye.